Exercise 2 deals with just an overview of looking at the various organ systems of the human body. There are 11 organ systems, so we're just going to briefly go over them, what their function is, what the major organs are. Throughout the semester, then we are going to look at them in obviously much more detail, but this is just a quick overview. The integumentary system. This is what most of you know as your skin. The skin is the major organ. It also includes different epidermal and dermal regions. And it also, in addition to that, will include some of your sense organs and glands. The function of the integumentary system is to provide protection and helps act as a barrier between your internal environment, if you will, what's inside of you versus the external environment. It's involved with helping to regulate the internal body temperature. It's involved with helping to produce vitamin D. It starts the process, and if you're wondering why you need vitamin D, it's very important for absorption of calcium. It's involved with excretion of salts and urea, and it's also involved in helping to keep you hydrated. So it's preventing you from getting dehydrated. The skeletal system, this does include all of your bones, and it also includes the cartilage, tendons, ligaments, and joints. So it's going to be not only the bones, but how are bones connected to each other, how are muscles connected to the bones, and those joints, which are where at least two bones come together, and whether or not movement is allowed. Sometimes there is, sometimes there not. The function of the skeletal system, the main thing is for support and protection. It also provides an attachment point for muscles and then acts as a lever for allowing when the muscles contract, you have movement. Well, those muscles have to be attached to something. And one thing that a lot of people don't think about is that the skeletal system is also playing a huge role in formation of blood. Your muscular system, this obviously is going to include your muscles. Usually what we are talking about here are your skeletal muscles, so those that are attached to the skeleton and have voluntary control over. There are different types of muscles, which we will get into later. They do provide movement and also generation of heat, because whenever they contract, that's movement. Whenever you have movement, that generates friction and it generates heat. So it is also involved with generation of heat, which can help maintain your internal body temperature. The nervous system is going to be composed of the brain, the spinal cord, all of your peripheral nerves. These are all the nerves that extend out from the brain and from the spinal cord that extend throughout the body. And it also includes the sensory receptors, which help you to pick up various stimuli. As one of the main functions is responding to those stimuli, whether it's cold temperature, pain, whatever it may be. And then the transmission of these electrical signals, sending it via the nerves to the brain or the spinal cord and then back. The endocrine system, this is dealing with your hormones. Your nervous system is considered a communication system. With the nervous system, you respond to a stimulus. The response is very, very fast, but very short-lived. Your endocrine system is also a communication system. It differs from the nervous system in that it's a little bit slower to get activated, to respond to the stimulus, but the response is going to be typically much longer than what you would see with the nervous system. So they both have their benefits. The major organs are going to then be your endocrine glands, your pituitary gland, your thymus, your thyroid gland, the parathyroid gland, the adrenal gland, the pineal gland, the ovaries or testes, and then the pancreas. The function is to help maintain homeostasis, this general equilibrium of balance within the internal body. It helps to promote growth and development, and some of the hormones are actually it involves the production of hormones, and then some hormones actually will stimulate other hormones. So it's kind of a cascade type effect. But the whole thing is to help keep this internal balance, keep you an internal stable environment, if you will. The cardiovascular system, the major organs are the heart and the blood vessels, as well as the blood. The main function of this is as a transportation system. It's going to transport nutrients throughout the body, oxygen throughout the body. It's also going to be transferring waste products away from the cells into like the urinary system to get rid of those wastes. It helps to transport hormones throughout the body. It's also going to be involved with antibody production, which is involved with your immune system. The lymphatic system, the major organs are your lymphatic vessels, the lymph nodes, the spleen, the thymus, your tonsils, lymphoid tissue. The whole function of the lymphatic system is that as especially with blood, as it's traveling through the circulatory system, when it travels through the capillaries, some of this fluid does leak out. It has to. It's providing those nutrients, gases, etc. But typically not as much fluid returns to the blood. And so you have to have a means of getting that extra fluid back into the blood. And there's other times where throughout the semester, we'll talk about how there may be fluid purposely leaked out. You've got to get that fluid back in the blood. You want to try to maintain a certain relatively stable volume of blood. How do you get it back in? How do you get this extracellular fluid back into the blood? Well, it's going to be by the lymphatic system. It's also going to play a role with your immunity and protection, with the what often people refer to as your immune system or your immune response, protecting you from infection. The respiratory system is going to involve your nasal passages, the pharynx, the larynx, the trachea, the bronchi, and the lungs. The whole purpose is for gas exchange. It is supplying oxygen to the blood, and it is getting rid of carbon dioxide, which is considered a waste product. It helps to maintain the acid-base balance also of the blood, which is very critical. It's maintained and monitored very, very closely. The digestive system includes your oral cavity, or the mouth, the esophagus, your stomach, small intestines, large intestines, and then what we call accessory structures. There are several of these. This one includes things like your teeth, salivary glands, the liver, the pancreas. You'll notice that some organs or accessory structures may play a role in multiple systems. So like the pancreas does produce some hormones, so it's considered endocrine, but it also is an accessory structure to the digestive system. So a lot of them have multiple roles. The function for the digestive system is to break down those nutrients. All that wonderful food that you've been eating, you need to get the sugar from it, you need to get the protein from it, you actually need to get the fats from it too, and break those wonderful chocolate-covered donut that you ate. You need to break that down and absorb those nutrients into the blood. And then you need to remove any of the solid waste. The urinary system is going to involve your kidneys, your ureters, the bladder, and the urethra. The function is to remove waste products such as urea, such as ammonia. This also plays a huge role in maintaining the acid-base balance in the blood, along with the respiratory system. The urinary system is going to assist with that. It's also going to help to maintain proper homeostasis or balance of your electrolytes, like your sodium, your potassium, calcium levels. And it is a very big player in the maintenance of your water balance, trying to help keep you hydrated and prevent dehydration. What happens is the urinary system is going to adjust how much urine is produced and then excrete it from the body depending on what is going on in the body, and it changes from moment to moment. The reproductive system, the major organs in the male is going to be the testes, prostate gland, the scrotum, penis, duct system. And for females, it's going to be the ovaries, the uterine tubes, the uterus, mammary glands, and vagina. The function of both of them is production of what we call germ cells. These are commonly referred to as the sex cells, either the sperm for the males or the egg or ovum in females. For female, they also have the uterus, which its purpose is to maintain the fetus until birth. And then the mammary glands are also going to help provide nutrients, breast milk, for the developing infant. And so together it's for continuation of the species.